you absolutely crushed this Kansas team total.
Told you.
Which was a great bet.
Told you.
What a loss for Oklahoma.
Yep.
Basically ruins their year. They're
Yeah.
in the playoffs now.
I
don't think they can. They won't get in. That loss is not going to. And I know Kansas is, first off, why the fuck is this team not ranked?
Because it's still Kansas football.
I don't care. Dude. They're 6-2.
Listen. I think Lance Leopold is one of the top.
He is. This is not debatable anymore.
Yeah.
By the way, it's not debatable.
Not debatable.
No one can argue this.
Yeah, Lance Leopold is the real deal. Lance Leopold.
He's going to Michigan State.
Oh man, that would scare me as a Penn State fan. I'll be honest with you.
He's not, but
I would want him.
You know what? I would stay where he's at.
Yeah.
If you're winning there, man.
So, but yeah, thank you for the compliment there.
It was a great play.
I did feel very good. Listen, Jason being there under the tutelage of Lance Leopold and that staff. Now that he's actually getting reps with the ones, we never talk about how hard it is as a backup. You get 10 reps in a week, and then you're inserted into a week or a game. Midway through the second quarter, game plan's not built for you. So we're seeing Kansas put together. Not that Bean was great by any means, but good enough to get the job done. Lance Leopold, all the motion offense they do, all the trickery, enough to get this Oklahoma team. And we kind of saw a little bit in that bad weather. We saw a little bit of bad Dylan Gabriel. We saw a Oklahoma wide receiver corp that is now without what's his fucking name, Anthony, that transferred from Michigan. He got hurt. We're seeing now Drake Stoops, have to effectively, really step up in a way that he probably shouldn't. And this Oklahoma team got exposed on the road, as happens in college football.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, I don't want to crush Oklahoma too bad because, they're still a good team. I think we have to give a lot of credit to Kansas here and Leopold and what he's doing there, man. It's made Kansas actually a tough place to go and play a football game, man, because it's new, it's cool. Anything new and cool, if you take any business class in the fucking world, anything new and cool and different is the shit. Yeah. And they've never been this cool. So the entire college town's behind them. It's a basketball school. Their football.
But that energy is coming. That energy is coming, though.
It's a good thing, dude. I guess what I'm trying to say is Oklahoma, I'm not going to crush them. I still think they're a good team. Are they out of the playoffs? Probably, yeah. But this is all about Kansas. This is about Kansas. This is what they're doing down there. Mm-hmm. Good for them, man. This was a fun game to watch, by the way.
Yeah.
Got delayed for a little bit. It was like some kind of tornado warning or something.
Through the field goal post in the lake after as well. I want to compliment you, Sal Babs, on a great pick. A pick that we almost made the Boss Cock Lock last week. Nebraska.
Dude.
Rolls.
Yo, they're the hottest team in the Big Ten, man. They haven't lost in a month.
Sal Babs,
They haven't lost in a month. Dude, they're officially bowl eligible. One more win, they're bowl eligible. This is a team that I thought was going to be terrible, do nothing, and they're a bowl eligible football team. They're bowl eligible.
I'm going to see here if we can, if I can.
You want me to pull their schedule up?
I was just going to say, I'm going to see if I can actually get this to work. That is
I got it.
So we're looking here, the Big 12 standings as we speak, Sal Babs. Oklahoma, State.
Before we get in the Big 12, let's just stay right here with Nebraska.
Yeah.
They're playing Sparty next week. That's a win, right?
Yeah.
They're playing Maryland in Nebraska. It's a possible win. Their defense is shutting everyone down. They're at Wisconsin, which will probably be a loss. And their last game of the year is against Iowa in Nebraska, which is a low-key rivalry game. Nebraska's fucking terrible.
So here's...
Nebraska...
Credit to Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt, this is where I'm going with this.
So the Big
Year
Ten...
one!
The Big Ten West official standings, we have Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, and Wisconsin, all at 3-2. Don't even discount Northwestern coming off the win over Maryland this week. Northwestern is 2-3. It is a typical shit show in the Big Ten West. Listen, I'm going to put my money on Nebraska right now.
Yes.
The offenses at Iowa and Minnesota are dog shit. I do like how Wisconsin is trying to. They played a very good game against Ohio State. But right now, if I had to peg one team, fuck it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Matt Rule.
Dude, yes. Look at the win streak.
Wild.
3 in a row. No other team in the entire Big Ten other than Michigan and Ohio State are on that.
Absolutely.
And those two teams are going to be in the playoffs.
Absolutely wild.
It's awesome.
And then, like I was said, the Big 12 is
Just imagine what Matt Rule would do with the talent at Penn State.
This is something I think of.
I mean, like, yeah,
every
like
single
this
day.
is so fucked. Like, it's so fucked.
Imagine what Lance Leopold would do with the talent at Penn State.
It's so fucked.
Like, this is why James Franklin.
It's
And
so fucked. Anyone still
let's
supporting
talk
James
about Penn
Franklin
State
is
right
so
now.
fucking retarded.
Penn State was on its heels at home against.
They actually, if Allen decides to get aggressive there and not kick a field goal, they actually probably fucking win the game. I don't know why he kicked a field goal there,
Right.
but he did.
Because he's a defensive coach.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that you're in that situation, 31-point favorite, coming off a loss, you got to roll here.
Yeah.
I mean, look, a win's a win, but in college football is the only sport where a win is not a win. The NFL, yeah, that win's a win. It doesn't matter. But you know what? When you're trying to win and get into playoffs, like, you got to blow these teams the fuck out, man.
Prior to yesterday, Utah was the most fraudulent team in the top 15.
And they got exposed.
As we stand right now, the most fraudulent team in the top 15 is probably Penn State. I still maintain the most fraudulent team in the top 10, in the top 5 is Florida State.
They just rolled. Well, why do you hate this team so much?
Because I think the ACC has been dog shit.
It is, but like I gotta rebuke this here, dude. Like I don't know where you're going with this Florida State shit. They're undefeated. They've won every fucking game. They've rolled. They just covered and rolled. And last week on this show, you said you think Penn State could beat them, which is hysterical.
I do.
Insanity. It's just delusions.
No.
This quarterback is horrible. My dad makes fun of him. He doesn't even give a fuck. He thinks Sean Clifford is better than this kid. And if he lived for 5,000 years, he wouldn't be better than Sean Clifford.
On a neutral field.
Oh, my God. I'm going home.
I'm taking Penn State minus 3.5 against Florida State.
I'm going home.
That's how much dog shit I think Florida State really is.
Going home.
We'll see. Fine.
I'm turning
I can't wait till the playoffs. I'm going to put literally my...
That doesn't mean anything, dude. Every 4 seed in the playoffs usually gets fucking killed.
Okay,
It's like that's just how it works. It don't matter if it's Cincinnati, Oklahoma, all those years. It doesn't matter, dude. Michigan State got in 1 year and got killed. It doesn't mean the 4 seeds always lose. That's why it's stupid, and it should be fucking like 16 teams.
No, 16 teams. Don't be one of those expansionists here. Fucking participation trophy, okay? I don't want Utah and Bryson Barnes ever being in any kind of playoff.
All right, so let me ask you this. Why is March Madness the biggest revenue drawing sporting event in the world?
Because nobody watches the college basketball regular season, and I don't want college football to become that.
Dude, college football will never, ever be like that.
Yeah.
People will still watch
You
college
say
football.
that's what people said about WWE 20 years ago, and then it became obsolete.
WWE made a lot of fucking retarded decisions, by the way. They did that to themselves.
Well,
they did that to themselves.
College football is doing it to
maybe
themselves.
Not 16 teams, but we got to do 8 here.
Okay,
I feel like if you're in the top 8, you are capable of beating any other.
I agree.
Top 8
Listen,
teams,
if we had the Power 5, or obviously Pac-12 is about to go away.
Like especially this year, for example, like you don't think Washington could beat Ohio State? Of course they could.
Of course I do.
Like that's what I mean.
Not
like,
the way they're
but
playing
as of
right now. But yeah.
But as of right now, that wouldn't happen. You know, unless you had an 8-team playoff. It's just like we need to go to 8. The way Oregon looks right now, they're ranked 8th.
Yeah, I'm actually scared for Oregon right now because I think Oregon may be the best team in the Pac-12.
How many times have we seen a 6-ranked, 7-ranked, 8-ranked team at the end of the year, and you're like, you know what? If there was a playoffs, this team was scary. Like they're fucking scary.
Yeah.
It's even happened with Penn State.
Yeah.
Like where at the end of the year, they look really good, and they're not allowed in because they have one fucking loss to the same fucking teams that are in anyways. They still don't win.
Yep.
So it's like stupid.
Do follow us here. Like and subscribe. Help us grow the channel here. Rumble.com/butter-and-hose. Like and subscribe. Also follow us on X or Twitter, depending upon how you call it, and Instagram at butter-in-hose. Also, we got the call-in number, literally my cell phone right here, 610-763.
He's putting a lot. He's risking a lot with this. Trust me.
49.
This is not a burner phone. This is his phone.
This is my literal phone.
Whatever you send is going to him.
Do we get one caller here tonight, Sal Babs?
J-Ball might call.
J-Ball may call
Yo,
in.
because he banged Oklahoma State.
He did. Johnny Covers.
He tails us, dude.
Johnny
Hey.
Covers tailed the shit out of us on Oklahoma State.
Dude.
One big time. Let's jump to that.
Yes.
Let's jump to Oklahoma State.
That was the lock.
It was a lock. It hit by a mile. The Oklahoma State run game, Gundy just out of control. Sal Babs, do we go back to Oklahoma State for the Boscock lock this week?
Oh, I don't know. We got 2 days to think about that. I mean, we could.
It looks good right now.
We could.
Oklahoma State plus 6.5 at home against Oklahoma. I like it right now. I like it. I like the pokes.
Man, could go over.
It could also go Oklahoma State by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yo, how about Pitt football?
Pitt football.
That's it. To my fear, like you have fears,
Right.
Everyone has their college football favorite team fears. My fear is that Narduzzi gets canned and Michigan State brings him back.
That would be
Because D'Antonio's still involved. He's there.
Right.
He lurks around. Like, I could see them being like, you know what? Like, we just need stability at the moment. We can get, like, a D'Antonio disciple in here.
Right.
He had a winning record overall at Pitt. Like, this is my biggest fear, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had a fear of this for weeks now.
Yeah.
This team is absolutely horrendous. They're 0 they haven't won a game yet in the league. They're
Yeah.
2-6. And I, on this very show, gave people a future bet of Pitt over 7 wins. And I
Yep.
do want to blame Phil Steele for that because he said that Pitt should be 4-0 by the time they play anyone that matters. Once again, his pick was trash this year. It was trash.
It was trash.
He jerked off
Trash.
a lot of teams. It sucks. And the only thing he really got right was fucking Florida State.
Let's go into what we actually did get
Which
wrong
you
here.
think sucks or something.
Let's get into what we actually did get wrong here.
Not much this week.
Yeah, not much, but I did get the Boston College minus 14.5 wrong.
Dude, they had it. I mean, it was there, man.
So
I mean, it was available.
It was self-inflicted. It was turnovers.
Yeah, it was available.
It was turnovers. What's his face? Castellanos, whatever, the quarterback there. I still like him. He was sick, it turned out. Didn't know that. It was just that they just played a bad game, and they still won.
Yeah.
And they have 5 wins now. They're at Syracuse this week. That I may bet them again. Yeah,
you can go, but I mean, it's not bad going back to them. I mean, they're a good team. Like we said, it was a little bit of a gay rivalry. It's a New Englander thing. So I don't know if UConn played a little tougher, but once again, this was BC self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I wouldn't kill yourself over that pick.
No, I'm not mad.
It was available still. I mean, they were up 7. They had a chance to, go up 14 and then maybe get a stop.
They were up 14 in the 4th, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean, it was available. It wasn't like it's not like he took Pitt against Notre
The
Dame.
the one here, and I've heard other national pundits talk about this one here, Sal Baps. I had Wyoming plus 5.5. Holy shit. Wyoming coming off a bye week got absolutely fucking destroyed
by a very basic mid
by
Boise
a very
team.
mid Boise team.
Yeah, man. I mean, they just got rolled, dude. I mean, it was a bad play, but like you were going off of statistics and what's been working, and Wyoming's been okay in that role. But look, Wyoming's 5-3. I mean, it wasn't like you were taking points with a team with a better record.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we know about gambling? If the line's goofy, like probably tells you something.
Yeah.
Like a 3-4 Boise team laying almost a touchdown.
This
kind of tells you, like, you know what? The public's going to be on Wyoming here. Like, the sharp is actually Boise. And that actually got bet up, I believe, but like later before kickoff, like the line got bigger. Sharps are on Boise.
I think Boise is actually on the road this week against Fresno State. I may take Fresno State. Speaking of Fresno State, I do hit UNLV. UNLV, actually, Sal Baps, driving to tie the game with 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
Homeboy literally drops a wide open pass. I have a feeling that Barry Odom, the good coach that he is, he would have gone for 2, would have gone for the victory. UNLV almost takes once again they cover and almost outright money line hits there in the Valley, Fresno State. But still was very impressed with Fresno State. Mikey Keene did actually wind up playing, so UNLV got the fastball from Fresno State. They were right there.
Yeah, and your Air Force play was good.
Yep, 2-0 in the Mountain West, or sorry, 2-1. Technically, Wyoming.
Bro, Air
also.
Force is straight up undefeated all around in the league and overall.
To be fair, Colorado State was actually close with them. They had that crazy Denver snow shit going on.
Yeah, which affected the Chiefs
play.
Broncos game today.
Right. It did play into Air Force's hands. Colorado State has a high-powered passing attack. I'm actually more impressed with Colorado State that they held in as much as they did. But then also nailed Arizona State. Sal Baps, I completely nailed my stock market calls and puts. I put a put on Duke, and we're seeing Duke struggle as much as they are. Riley Leonard didn't even score. Riley Leonard is hurt. That offense is completely immobilized right now. And then I had a call on Arizona. This fucking team, if
wins the game.
Is there one team in America, who you don't want to play right now besides the Arizona Wildcats?
No, they're 4-3 now. This is now officially. There's an old saying, dude. You record. They have a winning record. They're a winning football team in arguably the best league, like depth wise.
Yeah, I think
even like retarded teams like Cal will fuck you
Right.
if you don't show up, as we saw in the USC game, which was hysterical. By the way, if anyone watched that game.
By the way,
100 points.
Yeah, literally 90.
And we had the over. I capped it.
You did 99 points, 50-49.
Fucking points.
That was the USC defense is just. I mean, it is a.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What do you have to say about it? It is just the absolute dog shit. But yeah, Sal Baps. Let's see. Who was your one loss here again? Oh, it was a Florida-Georgia under, right?
Yeah, and dude, that game was unbettable because it went every way that like it shouldn't have.
Right.
It ended up being Georgia with laying the points in the over. Like, who took that?
Yeah.
Most people were taking Florida or the under, and Georgia, who never covers and their games always go under, they cover a big number and it goes over. It's a fucking It's a goofy game.
Florida is a 7.5 point.
I'm not even mad about that loss because a lot of people I know lost that. It was just like a douche.
Florida is a 7.5 point favorite. Talk about goofy lines. 7.5 point favorite at home versus Arkansas. I think I may have to bet Florida this week just because they are such a completely different team at the Swamp juxtaposed to away from the Swamp. So that is one of the plays that I'm looking at. Potentially not official yet.
What did you think of Ohio State at Wisconsin?
I think if Travion Henderson doesn't come back and play that game like he did, I don't know if Ohio State wins that game.
Yeah, man, it was a weird game. I think the line was 14.5, I believe. So Wisconsin did cover the hook.
Fickle, man.
Yeah, my dad took a stab on Wisconsin. I think he did hit that by that hook. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Penn State and Ohio State didn't look great this week after their big clash the week before, which you know what?
To be expected.
Now that we've learned about this stuff, they're actually bettable the next week because we saw this with Oregon, Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big clash, two of the best teams in the conference. Really tough game. The next game they play, they looked like dog shit, right? We both saw it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened this week? Both of those teams, lit the scoreboard up. So, we can look for Ohio State next week and Penn State next week with whatever their respective lines are that come out to play well. I believe Penn State are they playing Michigan this week?
No, the Penn State is on the road at Maryland.
Oh, that should be a win, man.
You say that, but Josh Gaddis, former Penn State staffer, is the OC at Maryland. And for Maryland, that is their biggest rival.
Let's check it out. It is. For Maryland, it is.
Right. So the way that Penn State looks at Ohio State is the way that Maryland looks at Penn State.
Oh, I mean, Maryland's 5-3.
They are 5. They did just lose to Northwestern.
But they are on a 3-game losing streak.
Right. They started 5-0. They're now.
So, yeah, it's kind of fake.
They may go 5-7 after starting 5-0.
So check it out. Look at the games coming up at Nebraska after Penn State, Michigan, at Rutgers. They could lose every game the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's right. They could miss a bowl after going 5-0.
So that's fucking something that has been done before. I mean, it does happen.
As we said, Sal Baps did nail the Nebraska minus 2.5. He absolutely.
Dude, how incredible was that value? At 2.5, man.
You nailed Oregon minus 6.5. We already talked about USC Cal over 68.5 goes to 99 points. And then Tulane Rice over 54.5. I think that was 57 or 58 is what it actually landed at. And then Washington Stanford over 60.5. I think that was 75 was the final tally on that. So Sal Baps, you killed it. You absolutely killed it. 5-1.
So did you, though. But we did a good week, dude. Like when
Good
our
week.
lock hits and we both have a winning record, that's all we look for. That's all we look for. We do this for free. Like we said, we're not asking for anything. We do the research. All we ask is you just follow and like. That's it. We don't want nothing from you. We don't let us do the work for you.
That's right.
Which we will. We'll get the bets we've lost. We've learned from them. That also is college football betting.
Yep.
But this week showed that we're not idiots. We're not dumb people. We know
That's
what
right.
we're doing.
Know what we're doing.
We pegged it right this week, and we'll do it again next week.
Absolutely. Going to go for 7-3, hopefully, here on the Boss Cock Lock.
Yeah.
Sal Baps, pull up next week's games. Let's just see here. I'm going to pull up early lines.
So we're on week 10 here.
We're on week 10. Week 10
here. We do have our typical bullshit MACtion on Tuesday, but every MAC team sucks this year. I mean, except Toledo, but what does that mean?
Right.
Like, it means nothing.
That TCU Texas Tech game.
So we've got TCU
that's
Texas Tech
interesting.
on a Thursday night.
That's an interesting game.
Could definitely be interesting. We've got Wake Forest Duke, which is a rivalry game. Duke has to show up and win that game. They're laying 12.5,
Right.
which is not a line. If Riley Leonard was there, it'd probably be 20, but we don't know what's going to happen here. We do have BC's Cuse on a Friday night.
Yes.
Which you were talking about BC, which
that line,
Syracuse is laying 3.
That line opened up at 4.5.
Love Boston College there. I love that line. Syracuse is 0-4 in the league. No team with a losing, no wins in their league is laying points. It's dumb. I don't like it.
Texas opened up at home. They're playing Kansas State as a -7 favorite. That line is down to 5.5.
Sorry to cut you off, but another reason I love BC here is because BC was another huge public wager last week. Did not hit, so I think a lot of people are just going to disregard BC this week, and I believe that they will hit and cover. And the people that are persistent like us and will not give up are going to get rewarded for taking this field goal with Boston College here.
Air Force is playing Army. The over-under is at 35. I'm tempted to take the under there just because the unders do, at a 72% clip.
Another 35 under in Nebraska, Michigan State.
So let's talk about Nebraska, Michigan State right now because if I had to pick one game right now for the Boss Cock Lock, and this is not an official play, so I'm just throwing this out here. If you want to take a little stab at some early lines, I do love right now Nebraska -3.5. But let's ask our Sparty favorite. What do you think?
Okay, so there's a quarterback named Sam Levitt, I believe, that they are now going to. They've gone through 4 quarterbacks this season.
Right.
They threw this kid in there last week, and he actually moved the ball a little bit and actually looked okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm saying is they're in total desperation mode. Now, what is the worst thing a team that is absolutely doing anything possible to find an offensive identity going up against an absolute shutdown, smash mouth defense? It's not going to be good. So we have a defense who knows who they are. They're well coached against a team who's now throwing out their 4th quarterback just to even see if they can even score once. I just can't. You got the fan base is already starting to flip a little
What's
bit.
What's attendance been
guess
like?
What's coming up next week?
Oh, Tom Izzo.
College basketball starts.
Right.
Guess what that means?
How's
No one's
attendance?
gonna care anymore.
How's attendance been for Sparty games here the past 2 weeks?
Unbelievably the same. They go.
Wow. Okay.
The people like football up there. They do. I mean, it's a football state.
Well, Nebraska is a juggernaut right now. That's one game.
Listen, don't let the attendance. The attendance hasn't mattered in any game they've played all year. They're 0-5 in the league. They're 2-6 with their only wins essentially being Central Michigan and a D2 team.
Holy shit. Sal Baps, the over-under line for Iowa Northwestern, it's lower than Army fucking Air Force.
What is it, like 32.5?
30.5.
Jesus Christ. You almost have to take the over.
You almost have to.
Because a team scores 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Northwestern's proven they can actually they can
They
score.
put up 33 this week.
They scored on Penn State.
Yeah, I mean they scored 33 this week.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I just feel like you may actually, for once in life, have to bet an Iowa over
Well,
under.
dude, it's because
I get paid Wednesday, Sal Baps. Do I make up for my Iowa team over I got fucked on 2 weeks ago? Do I do that?
man, I don't want to see you lose a paycheck on the same team. On the same team.
Oh, it's tempting.
I mean, maybe throw it on the boss cock lock.
There you go.
But I don't know. I don't know. Look, I love where you're getting at. It's definitely worth a unit if you're betting, but I mean, you're talking about Iowa here. It could still, I mean, it could still be.
I gotta look at the
10
weather.
to 9, bro.
I gotta look at the weather report for Chicago.
It could still be 10 to 9. I mean,
I gotta look at the weather
and
report.
yeah, that's another thing. You now it's cold. It's Chicago. It's windy.
Yep.
Ugh, I don't know. I get why that total's there. I mean, the odds makers are probably going to be spot on. But here's the thing about these low totals. The first quarter kind of determines your bet. Like, if those teams score one touchdown in the first quarter, it's going over.
Yeah.
And it can happen so easy. I don't know, man. I wouldn't throw a paycheck.
One other game that I'm actually liking here a lot is Minnesota is -3 at home to Illinois. Minnesota's defense has been lights out.
I got to give them credit. They're sticking with it. Not the season they wanted. But the kids are still playing hard.
They can still win the Big Ten West.
They can still make the Big Ten. Yeah, I mean, they're in second place.
Yeah.
So, a win here would be huge for them. But it looks like the way we're looking at the Big Ten West right now, it looks like all eyes on Nebraska with the way their schedule shapes out. There's a free win with Michigan State coming up here, which I'm like 90% sure this is going to be the boss cock lock, by the way, Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't. How's Michigan State going to score on them?
I don't see it. I do see UNLV.
Kids are quitting. Their best lineman entered the portal. He left.
I saw that.
These kids are leaving.
I see UNLV is -11.5 on the road at New Mexico. New Mexico, dog shit. Yo, all I gotta say is this Marion guy. If you're a team in the American, if you're a team in the Sun Belt, I am so impressed by UNLV offensive coordinator Brendan Marion. This guy is the real fucking deal. Especially if you're a woke school and you're like trying to purposely hire a black coach. This is the fucking guy to do it with. This is the guy to do it with. Like, I'm telling you, to have UNLV on the road there at Fresno State.
I hear you, man. I'm with you.
To where, like, they literally could have and probably should have won that game. They had one horrible third quarter. They were winning a lot of that game, Sal Baps. I can't reiterate just how impressed I am by him and the resurgence of UNLV this year. Any other games that are looking interesting to you right now here? So let's talk about West Virginia. They fucking rolled again yesterday. West Virginia is, I believe they've already hit their over-under for the year. They're at, 5 wins here?
Dude, yeah, coming off another big win. An over that I looked at, didn't cap it, but it was going to be a play of mine, was the over in that, which did hit. They are doing, Dude, West Virginia's better than I thought they were. I got to say they're better than I thought they were. I do think this is an interesting game here with Texas-Kansas State. Kansas State pulls an upset here. Texas is out. They're going to be done, which is another failure for Sark because this was supposed to be the year that Texas is going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
This was like it. Like, this was the year for them to make the playoffs. And
they still can.
I said if they lose this game to Kansas State, if Kansas State will pull this upset, this isn't even they're not even Texas isn't even a touchdown favorite. It's a 5-point line.
They opened up as 7, and the line's being bet down.
Wise guys are cranking this 6-2, 4-1 in the league. Kansas State 2015.
I will say Kansas State is a little bit different on the road as most college football teams.
I mean,
are.
who's their only loss in the conference is Missouri, right?
Kansas State lost to Missouri and Oklahoma State. Remember, you bet Kansas State that Friday night, and Oklahoma State rolled them.
No, that was TCU.
Oh,
look, KSU's 4-1 in the Big
12. They lost to.
They didn't lose to Missouri. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, they did. Kansas State lost to Missouri beginning of the year.
Pull up the Big 12 standing. This makes no sense to me.
I'm telling you,
so ESPN is wrong.
Look, Kansas State here. They lost to Missouri. And then they lost to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you're right. They're
29-21.
Incorrect. ESPN is incorrect. They're too woke.
Too woke to list.
They look for diversity and strength over geeky number guys that are virgins and would get it right.
Right, exactly.
Right? I mean, like, they got it wrong here.
So I'm looking here. Fresno State is a 3.5-point favorite at home against Boise State. That looks very good. Let's talk about Colorado. Colorado is 13.5 dog at home against Oregon State. I'm probably tempted here. If I would bet it, I would bet Oregon State. What do you think about that?
I like Oregon State to bounce back here.
Yeah. I don't think people are giving credit.
Yeah, Arizona's good.
How fucking good.
Arizona's fucking good. Oregon State didn't even play bad.
Yeah.
Arizona won.
Yeah, Arizona is the real fucking deal. Love with Jed Fish. By the way, I love the interview with Jed Fish. Like, it was Oregon State was on like the 8, and basically they were like asking him like how to win. And this is the difference between a defensive minded coach and offensive. He was like, yeah, we need to hold them to a field goal here, and we probably need to score a touchdown on 2 of our next 3 possessions. And if we do that, we'll win. Like, this dude's already thinking like a quarter ahead in this super fucking tight game in conference, and just the mindset. That's why, in rare, exceptions, I'm a big believer. You have to hire an offensive coach in today's game.
Yeah, I hear you, man. As you were talking, I stumbled upon a very, very, very interesting game.
Okay.
Iowa State is -1.5 hosting Kansas, coming off the big win over Oklahoma.
Man, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to bet against Kansas.
Did you know Iowa State's 4-1 in the league?
I did, because
interesting.
They had the whole big gambling fiasco.
Very interesting.
They lost their starting quarterback. They lost this lineman, that running back, this and that.
You know what I would fucking straight up, like Randy Marsh, big balls, wheelbarrow meme. Like, I think Kansas is better than them. I don't even care that
I wouldn't
it's a road game.
I wouldn't touch that game.
I'm not saying I'm taking it. I'm giving my opinion on the game that I do believe that if Kansas shows up, they are a better football team.
Yeah, but is this not a Kansas letdown game after that big win?
It's your classic letdown game, man. That's why I said you got to have big balls if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Once again, most likely I'm not going to be capping that game. I'm just.
Oh, I do like that. West Virginia at home against BYU. What's that?
We got.
Is that line under 10?
It is under 10. It's WVU laying 9 with an over/under of 51.
I would crank West Virginia at home. Absolutely.
Yeah,
especially the way that West Virginia.
Buzz back in Morgantown, So I mean, the team's better than they have been. Doesn't take much to get those Hicks in the seats there. So.
Right. Actually, Sal Baps, I'm going to do something. Since this is our first live Sunday show, our first Sunday show ever, I think I'm going to make an official play.
I mean, we're here, dude. Might as well.
Let me just look at it. Let me look at all my options here, but I'm about to crank it here on West Virginia. So I'm making an official play here for fucking week 10. I'm going to take the West Virginia Mountaineers at home in Moonshine, Morgantown against the BYU Sturman Mormon Cougars. Sal Baps, we saw what Texas just did against BYU with their backup quarterback, Malik Murphy.
Right.
They ran the fucking rock down BYU's throat.
They blew them out by 4 touchdowns.
BYU couldn't do a single thing. West Virginia,
power run team.
Power run, ground and pound. I believe West Virginia is going to do the same fucking thing against BYU.
Same game plan.
My first official play for the week on our first Sunday night show, I'm taking West Virginia -8.
I'll post it as a single play tonight.
Post it as a single play.
WVU -9.
That's what you're getting.
Another interesting total here. Washington
-8. -8, not -9. -8.
So Washington USC total is 76.5. It's the highest total I've seen this year.
Wait, what is it?
USC Washington is this week, right?
Yeah.
At USC. This total is actually 76.5. It's
Holy
the highest
shit.
total I've seen in years.
Holy shit.
Higher than Red River shootouts in the past. I mean, this is insane, right? 76.5.
Holy shit.
I mean, if there's one 5 minutes, 6 minutes spurt with no scoring, you lose. But yet, do you have the balls to take this under?
USC just gave up 49 points to Cal.
Can't stop anyone, dude.
They just gave up 49 points
to Cal. Penix should eat them up, man. I mean,
but Penix has been playing like dog shit past couple weeks.
Yeah, well, this is the defense to get it back, to get your fucking flow back.
To get your fucking flow back.
I mean, if you're this really is.
What's that line on Kentucky and Mississippi State?
We've got Kentucky laying 3 with a total of 46.
Okay. And
Kentucky.
SMU rolled again. What's the SMU?
SMU had 60 points in the third quarter.
So this is another game I've been looking at hard.
This game's gonna go over.
So-
This is fucking 58.5.
Yeah.
This Rice. This is going over. I just had a Rice total that went over with Tulane.
So a couple weeks ago, we nailed the Boss Cock lock on LSU overs. I think this may be actually the Boss Cock lock here, Sal Babs. I still love Nebraska over Sparty,
what, you
but
like SMU with the points?
no, I'm looking at LSU and Bama,
Oh,
59.5 over.
It's got to go over, right?
Got to go over.
I mean, it's got to go over. I mean, we've been doing this LSU over shit for a while.
I think
let's look at LSU scores, right?
any LSU game under 60, I think we automatically just have to.
So
bet
let's
the
check
over.
out LSU scores, right? So they just scored 62 in their last game.
Right.
The Auburn total, I did think we still hit that, right?
Yeah,
48-8. We did hit that.
Yeah,
It
we
went
hit that.
over.
Yeah, that was Boss Cock
Missouri,
lock.
they scored 50. That went over. They lost to Ole Miss, but they scored 50. 34-31, that would have been a 65 total against Arkansas. That had to have gone over.
Mm-hmm.
The Mississippi State was 41-14, may have gone under, assuming that's only 54. The first, then we had the Grambling game. They scored 72, so that's 82. It went over. And then the Florida State first game of the year that I lost like 20 grand on LSU, by the way.
Right.
And I've been like dying ever since
Yep.
then.
Yeah,
and
that was
basically going to get dumped and be homeless
Yeah,
for
that
because
was-
of Brian Kelly.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, so that went over. So like this could be it. It's gonna be hard to get me off Nebraska because I really fucking love what I see. I mean, did you see any of it, like the highlights or anything?
I saw some of the highlights.
I mean,
it was not a
it's-
game that I saw.
I think like Vegas is. They're disrespecting Matt Rule. I mean, they're just like
Yeah.
Michigan State. You're only favored by a fucking field goal,
Right.
I mean, Michigan State hasn't won a game in the league. You have a chance to actually win the Big Ten West, and they're gonna try to play for that. It's up there. We're gonna have to talk about it this week, but Nebraska's up there, and this over's up there too.
Yeah.
But I really think once Matt Rule gets a team on the right path,
When Matt Rule gets a
defense is
quarterback-
playing, we saw this with Baylor, like just defense and winning, like
when he gets a quarterback, Sal Babs, it's over.
Yeah,
Big Ten West is
it's for years.
done.
For years.
Done.
I mean, it's going to be for years. They're going to run shit for years over there.
I mean, I still like Luke Fickell a lot. Wisconsin obviously has.
I get it, but dude, like Luke Fickell's cool, but
Dude, the fan base,
coaching,
the NIL money,
hunger of Nebraska,
Yeah.
and what they want to be, and this right
the
there.
NIL money, Sal Babs,
they
at Nebraska.
knocked it out of the park with this hire, man. Like they just did. Like this was the best hire they've had in 30 fucking years, man.
Right.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is just he's gonna win there.
He's gonna win there.
He's winning now.
Yeah.
No.
Good job, Penn State, to sign James Franklin.
Pathetic and embarrassing. And
literally-
woke.
Literally, as I remember it, Matt Rule was at the Jersey Shore on like vacation after he got fired by the Panthers, and as he was like hanging out there, like probably just honestly waiting to like see if Franklin would take another job and take the Penn State job, and then like while he's down there, and they signed James Franklin to another 15-year extension. Embarrassing. Sal Babs, I'm going to make another public announcement on this Sunday night show. You will not see me publicly wearing any more Penn State apparel.
I wouldn't rep them. I wouldn't have been repping Penn State since the Sandusky shit came out. Every time I see it, I'm like,
Okay, well, that's for neither here nor there. I am not wearing Penn State
But yet again,
apparel.
I'm a Michigan State fan, which had like more rape than like.
Yeah, exactly. If we're going to talk rape allegations, you are the creme de la creme.
Coaches sending dick pics and shit.
Yeah. Penn State apparel though will not be seen on me, even if we beat Michigan. And I'm not gonna like start like rooting against Penn State by any means. I'm just saying this is my boycott against James Franklin. I'm either gonna buy non-licensed Penn State apparel, like some hood shit that does not go back to Penn State, or I'm just not buying any more Penn State apparel whatsoever. This is my boycott against James Franklin. Get him the fuck out of here. I'm sick of it. Sal Babs, I can't do this shit anymore. He's a snake oil salesman, and the Penn State program is not where it should be. I'm sick. I'm fucking sick of it.
If you're Nick Singleton, do you transfer?
Yes, you have to.
I believe you do. I said he should have never went there.
He almost went to Notre Dame, and then
Yeah, it would have been great for him.
And then Brian Kelly went to LSU. And then, James Franklin did his snake oil salesman shit that he does.
Followed him to LSU.
But yeah, I think in the offseason, I think Singleton's as good as gone.
There's a lot of people that thought that he was going to go to the NFL this year, but he needs another year of college where he's the feature back and he's going to have a great season.
Sababs, what are you saying?
The thing is, like the thing.
Sababs, what do you say? Singleton is only a sophomore, Sababs. He can't go to the NFL.
Oh, he's a sophomore.
He's a true sophomore, Sababs.
Yeah, he's a true sophomore. So yeah, I mean, he's.
Sababs just had his old timers moment. It's okay. We give him one per show. If you're new to the show here.
Yeah, I usually have a brain fart here and there. So yeah,
literally, he's from Sal Babs High School. I would expect you. He's from where we're from. Literally 10 minutes from where we're recording this right now.
Yeah, I know. Dude, years fly by, man. I mean, it seems like the other day I was watching him at Mifflin and scored 10 touchdowns against Muhlenberg.
Yeah,
you were in Cali, and I'm like, dude, this kid's really good.
Right.
And he is really good.
He is really good.
I just don't believe that's where he's going to finish his college career.
We're
starting to see this with Penn State.
Where should Nick Singleton go?
Where should Nick Singleton go? It depends on. I can't say there's probably not a school that won't have him. He's got to go somewhere where he's not splitting carries. I don't know where that is because it seems to be that is the way of the running back now.
Yeah,
like that is the way football is going, where there is no feature back anymore, but this is a kid that needs to play. So I don't know if it even would be like a major power. Like, does he need to go somewhere like a Louisville? Does he need to go somewhere?
He needs to go to Miami.
That is a good spot for him.
Miami has those stud freshman offensive linemen.
Yeah, Miami.
Mario Cristobal wants to pound the fucking rock. Nick Singleton, if you're listening, I love you, dude. Berks County product. I want you to do well. Get the hell out of Penn State. Transfer to Miami. And bang 1,000 bitches on South Beach.
Dude, Miami's a great spot to go to for him. That's a good one off the top of their head. I know with the conference realignment, you got to be careful with any Pac-12 team. I do think I don't know the kid, I don't know the family. He's local. I do believe that Penn State, if I look up the demographics, I'm going to be willing to bet that more people that live in Pennsylvania tend to not leave it more than you think.
Right,
so
right. Pennsylvania is one of the most inbred states. This is true.
I'm not saying he's inbred, but you're making a point of to where I'm going with it.
Right.
With like the demographics of Pennsylvania. It's not okay, let's go up to Frackville, Route 61 right now.
Yeah.
You start polling people what they did on vacation the past 10 years. They're going to be like, I went down to the
Poconos,
the creek and smoked some
crack.
Some homemade rolled tobacco. They don't go anywhere, bro. Like they don't leave here. So I think part of the decision with Singleton was to stay in the state. He wants to go home. The family can go to the games, XYZ. But you know what?
It was his mom. His mom was why he went to Penn State.
This is kind of out of the equation now. Now it's about survival of your career, and you cannot let it go into the hands of a fucking retard like James Franklin.
Yeah.
So Miami, a spot he could go to. Louisville is a spot he can go to.
I wouldn't go to Louisville. Too pass heavy. Miami makes sense. Duke makes sense.
Duke makes sense, but he's not going to go to Duke.
Right.
He's too much of a high-profile name.
Right.
Miami kind of really seems like a really ideal landing spot. I know his finalists, I believe, were Bama, Notre Dame, Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame could still be a possibility for him.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, you go to Bama, you're going to be up for comp again. I mean, it's like, so
yeah.
Singleton, I know you'll never see this, but
get the fuck out of Penn State, buddy.
Go somewhere where you can get your money, man.
Yeah.
Go get your money.
All right, Sal Babs, we got a lot of. It's been a great week. Absolutely destroyed on the Boss Cock Lock. Like we said, 6-3. We went 10-3 in our picks for the week. Any last words? Anything else that comes to your mind as far as what you're looking forward to on this week? Any line movement? Any games in particular that you're watching? Besides,
we're gonna find out. We're gonna try to get some better value on some of these games. Nebraska, we're gonna watch that line. Watch this total with Washington. I mean, if you can try to get that lower than 76.5, crank it. I mean, if people were trying to get that down, that'd be great because I'd love to bet that over.
Right.
But 77 points to get it, man. Jesus Christ. That is one of the highest totals I've ever seen.
Right. I've already made
Ever.
my official first pick, the West Virginia at home
it'll be
minus
up
8.
on Twitter and Insta in like an hour.
I'm looking
it up.
at the Fresno State line. I think there's great value in Boise State right now, as far as just them coming off a huge win. So I'm looking at the Fresno State line, looking at UNLV again, staying in the Mountain West. Sorry, but there's value there in some of those games sometimes. Also, I don't know, the Air Force and Army under is a bit tempting. And then there's a couple other games here that I need
The battle to see who fights for Israel.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a couple games here I also got my eye on. Need to see some injury reports, though, before I'm ready to speak
Yeah,
about
it's
them.
Sunday. We got to, that's why, tune in Wednesday. We'll be back. We'll see the injury reports, see the line movements, and we'll go from there. We'll have 12,
Yep.
actually 13 fresh picks for you.
Florida at home against Arkansas
Who else gives
also
out
looks pretty
13
good.
picks for free?
And who goes 10-3 for free?
Like, for free. Like, we give you 13 picks.
Like and
for free.
subscribe to the channel here. Follow us. Also follow us X and Twitter. Like we said, at Butter and Hose. We do post the plays there as well at Instagram at Butter and Hose. Sal Baps, first Sunday night show in the books. Hell yeah, bruh.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll keep doing it.
Do it. Say your prayers. Take your vitamins. Grow your own food. Make that bread. Butter them hoes.